Hare Krishna. Hope you are doing well. Let's get started with this linear algebra question, which is giving us some things about the rank, the trace, and is expecting us to know the answer to something related about the characteristic polynomial. So, naturally, having the prerequisites on matrices, eigenvalues, and characteristic polynomial will be helpful to understand the solution that is about to come. Now, there can be two ways to go about the solution. In the moment of exam, maybe you're not very familiar with the theory, but some intuition can click in. Let's start with that first. So you have the trace of the square of the matrix, and this number, which is the trace, seems to be like the square of something, right? And you can check that is the square of 45. So that's one thing. The other thing is the rank of the original matrix is 1. How can that connect to the square? Now, before we see that connection, a general thing which goes beyond this question, when you have rank of a matrix, so there's a class of matrices, say with rank 1. One way to visualize them, and one of the matrices is going to be like this only, is see how much new and independent information is coming in. And you can have it like this, where just one row is non-zero and the diagonal element is bringing that information, independent information, rest everything is zero. Similarly, when the rank is more, say 3, you can have a matrix like this, where there are 3 non-zero rows bringing in independent information like this, new and independent information, rest everything is a big zero. So I'm not saying that all matrices of rank 3 are going to look like this, but I am saying in specific situations, or to get an intuitive understanding, you can visualize or create matrices like this for rank 3. Because this question is a general question with a specific answer, if you don't understand what I just said, you can check the introduction video to this series of questions. It will make things clear. So because this question is a general question with a specific answer, it means we can construct a favorable specific situation and get to the answer. And this intuition is leading us to that only. We can have a matrix like this, which satisfies these conditions, and the answer obtained from this is going to be the correct answer. One pitfall over here can be, say in the examination you thought of this and you were very proud of yourself. Yeah, this specific situation is going to lead me to the answer, and then you see there's just one eigenvalue, non-zero eigenvalue, and that is going to be the answer. You can get ahead of yourself. But the question is asking about the characteristic polynomial, not exactly the eigenvalues. It's asking about the coefficients of the characteristic polynomial. So for this specific construction as well, you need to look at what the characteristic polynomial is. And then you will see that there are two coefficients, in fact. One is 45, the other is plus or minus 1. Uh, Plus minus 45, plus minus 1. That leads you to the answer 46. And if you are lucky enough to know the theory, you may have approached this question in a different way. That you have the characteristic polynomial as the starting point, because you know characteristic polynomial is a polynomial where eigenvalues are the roots. And you would also know that the rank is 1 would mean only one eigenvalue is non-zero, rest all other remaining eigenvalues are 0. So that can help you construct the characteristic polynomial in a slightly general state, but then you can use this condition or information to get to the specific form of the characteristic polynomial. How? Trace of a matrix is the sum of its eigenvalues, and if a matrix has eigenvalue lambda, the square of the matrix will have lambda square as the eigenvalue. It's a fundamental lemma. You can look at it in the background. So This is what you start with, and you simplify and get the value of the non-zero eigenvalue, which helps you complete the characteristic polynomial, and you get the same answer. Depending on what you remember or how adventurous you are in the examination, you can have two paths to lead you to the same answer. So that was it. Hare Krishna. But that was not just it, because we are also having some things out of syllabus which can help in the examination in slightly different ways. So in this video and the next 19 videos for numerical questions of IIT JAM 2025, there is a specific set of curated verses of Bhagavad Gita. Starting with this one, this is the verse where Arjun is asking Krishna to take the chariot in the middle of the battlefield, in the middle of the two armies. Similarly, a student is on the battlefield of examination. So you are giving your mock test and even the real exam someday. You would want to see the army in front of you that you have to fight with your army of theorems and all the things that you have learned against the army of the questions in front of you. You'd want to see that, right? So let's see what will happen next. Take care. Hare Krishna.